Hey everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. So glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, you already know, go down in your settings, yes, down below, look in your settings, find your subscribe button and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit your notification bell so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And I do pop in from time to time. Also, give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis, that beast, that algorithm. I'm telling you, it is dragging me up and down these internet streets. I really would appreciate your help with that. Also, over here in the corner, that's our join button. That is for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of our reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I will be so grateful, so thankful for that support. Also, if you just want to do a one time donation, over on the other side is our super thanks button. And all donations to this channel is always greatly appreciated. Also, I know you noticed that you only seeing a picture, you're not seeing my face. And this is not something I'm starting. This is not anything new. I have done this before, but I just did not feel like showing my face today. I am having a very hard time today, but I wanted to come and be with my readers and let us chit chat and kiki about what's going on with Harry and Meghan. But I just did not feel up to showing my face. And like I said, I do this from time to time when I don't feel like showing my face. But just be understanding and know that, I'm going through a little hard time. We had an election over here and it did not turn out the way I would have wanted it to turn out. And I'm feeling a little somewhere, I'm feeling kind of unhappy and sad about it, I must say. I feel some kind of way about it. And so I just didn't feel like doing the whole showing my face because I'm sure y'all would see my disappointment on my face. So I decided to put up a happy picture and just let y'all hear my voice. All right, well, let's get to the read. You know, when I am putting the read together, y'all know what I do. I jump in these internet streets, and that is what I have been doing. I've been up and down and all around these internet streets. I was over to Instagram, and I must say, things are kind of quiet over to Instagram. Now, they are dragging William. They are dragging William because you know he has his Earth Flop prize. You know, I call it Earth Flop. He's having that tonight, and it is really. I have saw some clips of it, and I am totally and absolutely unimpressed. And look like some of the stars that are there or was kind of unimpressed or not in the loop about what it was about in the first place. They were just coming over for a red carpet. And we're going to discuss that. And some of the squatties over Instagram are talking about that. And basically, a lot of them are talking about Harry and Meghan and how this election might be affecting them, what might happen there, and how their bullies are coming out of the woodwork trying to bully them about, this new Trump presidency and how they're probably going to get kicked out of the country. So people are discussing that on Instagram. But like I said, my timeline is pretty slow. I think everybody is just trying to get their head around this whole new reality that we're dealing with here in the US. And so I think that's why things are kind of quiet. I also went over to TikTok, and TikTok is just filled with a lot of political stuff, very little Harry and Meghan stuff. And I think the reason why a lot of us over here are kind of shell shocked right now. And so they're not really focusing in on Harry and Meghan. And of course, I was over to my favorite place. Y'all all know my home away from home. That would be X, formerly known as Twitter. And like I said, it is pretty much like Instagram. it is not a whole lot of Harry and Meghan posts and chit chat is happening over there. It's mostly about the election. It's mostly about people being stunned and shell shocked and hurt and just in disbelief about what our new reality looks like. So, yeah, but I did dig around and I found some articles that we're going to discuss and a few posts that I'm going to share. Now, today's read might not be as long as it usually is, but like I said, we are trying to grapple with the new reality of life over here. And I'm sure Harry and Meghan is kind of feeling the same way, just wondering how all of this happened and how we fit into it and how they fit into it. So, with all that said, let's get into the read. First thing I would like to talk about on the read is Prince Harry's visa and how his haters, how these toadies, how these minions, how these trolls, how these flying monkeys, the first thing that they jumped to, the first thing they were out here tweeting about was Prince Harry's visa and how Donald Trump being elected was going to affect Harry's ability to stay in the United States. We had Now Gardner, that little weasel from the Heritage Foundation, who has been doing Charles and William's bidding that I believe. So, because my whole thing is, what kind of standing would the Heritage Foundation have in knowing anything about Prince Harry? Why? Why are they so interested? And this British citizen just so happened works within the Heritage Foundation and has done nothing but tweet time and time again and sit on panels time and time again pursuing the publication of Harry's visa. And why would this little toady, why would his interest be so strong that he would have lawsuit after lawsuit in pursuit of opening Harry's visa up, trying to get him deported? What would be his motivation if it wasn't coming straight out of Kensington or Buckingham Palace? If I had to guess, I would say Buckingham Palace. I would say Buckingham Palace because this smells like Charles. It smells like Charles and Camilla, two people who are the most vengeful individuals that you can think of. And because Harry went on record, wrote a book, and told his truth, and my point has always been that Spare would have been a whole and totally different book if they had been better to Harry and better to Harry's wife and his child. But yet and still, they want to punish him. They want to punish him for thriving. They want to punish him for being successful. They want to punish him for showing them up for the mediocres that they are. But yes, that is what's going on. Now, Gardner tweeting out first thing, not congratulations to Donald Trump, not saying anything about anything else except Prince Harry. Have Prince Harry on the brain. And who joined him in this nonsense? Dan Wooten. Yes, Dan Wooten tweeting out that now that Donald Trump is going to be president, Prince Harry really needs to be aware that he might be deported. And I want to ask them, deported for what? Deported for what? But I have never saw people so personally involved in anything in my life. They act like Harry somehow did something to them personally. Dan Wooden's situation that he got in had nothing to do with Harry. He decided to act and behave in the manner in which he decided to act and behave in. He had nothing to do with Martin Brannon. Dan Wooden made up Martin Brannon. He did that and decided to do all that shady activity, blackmailing, allegedly, people for nudies. And whatever else he was up to, his ex-boyfriend said he found a whole bunch of stuff. This is according to Byline Time, behind the washer. So he was up to a whole lot of shenanigans that didn't have anything to do with Harry or Meghan. And his firing had nothing to do with Harry and Meghan. But yet and still, he wants to project all that nonsense on Harry and Meghan. And the very first thing he want to tweet out is about Harry's visa. And who else? Who else came in to join him and Nile Gardner in their threatening behavior towards Harry and his family? That would be Richard Weasel Eaton, or Maureen as we know him. And that it was his first thought that jumped in his head. Now, yet and still, they have a whole royal family over there that's fleecing them like you would fleece a sheep. I mean, like you would shear a sheep. That is the way the royal family is taking advantage of the British people. But yet and still, they have zero smoke for them and continue to come after Harry, who has done completely and absolutely nothing to them personally, except decide that he was no longer going to take the nonsense, the BS that they were dishing out, not from his family and not from the press. But yet and still, they somehow want to try to harm him and his family. That's why I have always felt super, super, super uncomfortable with Harry being over there. Because these people are not rational people. They just not. They are not rational people. They will. Look how they pursued his mom. And Harry must not forget that. This particular squatty, I'm going to put this up. This particular squatty says this. It's truly sick and disgusting that Dan, Niles, and Richard automatically jump to Harry and Meghan better watch out. They're getting deported. Well, I hate to break this to Dan, Niles, and Richard. Meghan is a U.S. citizen. Where is she going to get deported to? The U.S. Because she was born, bred, and raised in California. And the last time I looked, California was one of the 50th states in the United States. So I don't know what they're talking about there. And Archie and Lilibet are U.S. citizens. And far as we know, Harry might be one right now. Wouldn't that be something if they found out that Harry is presently a dual citizen? I would just love that for them. Let's go on with this tweet. It says, like America just went down the gutter, and their first thought is Harry and Meghan. What the F? Donald won't deport Harry because ultimately Donald doesn't give a SHIT about Harry. Also, I'm sure Harry has a green card by now, and Donald can't just deport someone he doesn't like. I would not be surprised if Harry wasn't a U.S. citizen by now. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised that Harry has applied and become a dual citizen of the U.S. and the United Kingdom. And my hopes is that the people of the United Kingdom will show Harry some grace if he has become a dual citizen. because it's clearly not something that he would want to do, freely. But here's a man who is continuously being cornered by all of these toadies, all of these hags, all of these minions, all of these flying monkeys. He is constantly being cornered, and they are constantly threatening him and his family, trying to break him and his family up. I can't tell you how many articles it is out there talking about how Harry and Meghan are divorcing, how Harry and Meghan are separating. They do not want this family to survive. They do not want this family to exist. For some reason, they want Harry punished. Just like Harry's mere existence is an affront to them. It is the most ridiculous thing. Let's go on with this tweet. It said Donald won't deport Harry because ultimately Donald doesn't give a SHT about Harry. Also, I'm sure Harry has a green card by now, and Donald can't just deport someone he doesn't like. They also behave as if Meghan is an immigrant. Tell the truth. It says she is a U.S. born citizen who was born to another U.S. citizen, who was born to another U.S. citizen. Meghan's lineage extends, what, 200 years as long as America been here? I mean, what are they talking about? That's all I'm saying. And it says they can't kick her out for any reason. It's just sickening to me. It just sickens me and boils my blood that they fantasize by Harry being forcibly removed from his wife and child and put on a plane destined for Heathrow. Like, what is the actual F? I agree. What is the actual F? What is going on here? It is the most ridiculous thing that I have ever heard of in my whole life. These people want to break this family up. I don't get it. I don't get it. But yeah, I do get it, because if anything we have witnessed in this world of late is pure evil. It exists. It's not a myth. It is pure evil in this world, and we have witnessed it. And being a Harry and Meghan supporter, being a squatty, it is something you witness on a day-to-day basis. I have never saw anything like it before in my life. A couple who has done nothing but love one another and try to do good in this world, and they are hated for it. They are villainized for it. They are pursued for it. They are never able to have any peace because of it. It's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous thing. I just can't. I can't. I just can't, y'all. I cannot. All right. I'm going to give you an example of what these people are talking about when it comes to Harry and Meghan's marriage. They're wishful thinking. They're reading into just plain day-to-day activities that a couple would do. I mean, Harry and Meghan behaves like no differently than any other married couple here in America. They work separately, they do things separately, and they do things together. But these people want them to fail so bad. I have never saw people wish for the demise of anybody. I have not. I have not. And I'm going to put this up. This is a story that I found, and I think I found this in the Sun. And we all know what the Sun is about. And they actually wrote this particular article saying this: time will tell. I doubt Meghan and Harry's marriage will last much longer. They're already spending so much time apart, expert says. And this expert is Phil Dampier, the one that does nothing but talk trash about Harry and Meghan. And I am willing to bet you that he has never even met Meghan and maybe have met Harry a handful of times. And during that time, Harry was probably looking over his head and not in his face because he was so insignificant to Harry. But yet and still, he knows the ins and outs of Harry's marriage. It is the most ridiculous thing. It says this: Prince Harry is said to have had a 3-week break, which included a solo trip to Lesotho in Africa in honor of his charity, Cinebale. They are trying to use that as some kind of evidence that Harry and Meghan's marriage is over because Harry took a trip over to Cinebale, to Lesotho to see about his charity, Cinebale. That he hadn't, I think he hadn't been over there in like 4 years or so. So of course he wanted to go over there. It's like going home for him. And they want to use this as some kind of evidence that Harry and Meghan's marriage is breaking up because Meghan didn't go with him to Lesotho. And not even, adding in or even considering that Meghan just can't pick up and go. Both parents just can't pick up and go when you have small children, especially when you have small children in school. They have two, they have two school age children. They just can't pick up. Megan cannot just pick up and go off a week, and you have small children. But yet and still, because Harry on his birthday, and I'm sure that was the birthday trip that they were talking about that he was going to have. You remember in People when it was Harry's 40th birthday, and they talked about what he was going to do for his birthday, and they said he was going to do. He was going to go off on a trip with friends. I'm sure this was the trip that they were referring to, but yet and still they want to say that Harry was spending time away from Meghan. It's ridiculous. And then it also says Harry also attended a string of events in New York unaccompanied by his wife doing business. Was he just in New York partying, showing up at clubs and different restaurants? No, he was not. He was attending the UN. It was during UN week, during climate week, and he had all different kinds of events with animal parks. I think is it called African Parks? African Parks and the Diana Awards and Halo Trust and Travelers and Cintabale. He was not there just having a good time. He was actually there networking and bringing, organizations and businesses and all different, just making connections because Harry works for his charities. Unlike the rest of those left behinds over there who only give a charity their name and takes money out of the same charity's pockets. We all know now it's all been exposed. We saw it on Channel 4 and in conjunction with the Sunday Times and the C4 dispatches that Charles takes from cancer charities. He is the patron of the Macmillan Cancer Support, and he also charges them rent. He's also their landlord. So he is taking money. All he does is lend his name because they depend on donations. So Charles is lending his name and then taking a cut of the donations out of this charity's pockets. But yet and still, they want to talk about Harry being in New York like he wasn't doing anything. Harry works for his charities. He works for his charity and he do not take money out of their pockets. He puts money in their pockets. That's all I'm saying. It says he also did a surprise TV stint and tour of a haunted maze on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. And so, because Harry went on uh, um, a TV night show, what is it? What is the Tonight Show? Just because he went on the Tonight Show, his marriage is over. His marriage is over because he did a TV show without Megan. Do you see how ridiculous these people sound? They sound just completely and ultimately ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I cannot with these people. And it says, speaking on the Sun's Royal exclusive show, expert, and I wonder what he is an expert at, because he is not an expert at Harry's life. Because he don't even know Harry like that. He know of Harry. He don't know anything about Harry. It says expert Phil Dampier says Harry and Meghan, everyone has doubts about their relationship. But you don't have doubts about a relationship of William and Kate when they are not on, when they think people are not looking, and we saw that in Southport, in a video in Southport when William and Kate was entering a building. Kate came close to William and he recoiled. He literally recoiled to keep her from touching him. But yet and still, it's Harry and Meghan's marriage, who just came off of a trip, a highly successful trip to Colombia, and they were so loved up, so sweet to one another, so fun, and just happy to be in each other's presence. But no, these are the ones that are getting divorced, not the one that is literally, I mean, literally recoiling from their partner. These people need to stop. These people need to stop. Phil said, I think Meghan is genuinely doing a lot of work in the background for the Netflix project An American Riviera Orchard. You think, where do you think he got that from? He got that straight from the squatties. Because we always be talking about how Meghan is working in the background. This man knows nothing about Harry and Meghan. He goes on X, or he X formerly known as Twitter, or he goes on Instagram and read our post. That's where he got that from. But yet and still, he wants to pretend like he knows what's going on in Montecito. He can miss me with that nonsense. I'm just saying. It says she probably wants a bit of a hiatus so that she can launch that. As for Harry, obviously he's been back and forth with a few charities. This man crazy. They do seem to be going their separate ways. There's no evidence that they are splitting up at the moment personally. You think? You think it's no evidence? These people, I'm talking about, they have said all of this, insinuated that it's something wrong with normal behavior of a married couple, dissected and insinuated that they are breaking up, but then he gonna come back and say, well, there's no evidence of that. Why are you talking then? I'm just wondering, why are you talking? It said, I think we have our doubts whether the marriage will last 10, 20, 30 years. This is the most ridiculous thing. He said we have our doubts that it will last 10, 20, 30 years. I mean, I I'm sure William and Kate's contract with each other will last probably forever because they both want something out of it. It's not a loving relationship, and anybody who has two eyes and a sense of insight about anything can look at William and Kate and tell that it is something wrong in that relationship. And like I said, when they think that they are not being seen, they let their mask slip, and we see William recoiling. We see Kate's smile fade off her face quickly. These people are not happy. They're not. And they have done everything that they can do, and especially Kate has done every snake thing that she can do to get in the position that she's in, and she is not happy in it. It's the same thing with Camilla and Charles. They've done everything that they can do. They wanted the queen out of here. They wanted her out of here. And then when the queen did pass away, they tried to make sure that she was in the distance and nobody even talks about her. It's almost like the queen never existed when it comes to Charles and Camilla. But you can clearly see that they have not had 1 minute of happiness in their position. It was all written all over their face on their trip to Australia and Samoa. They were miserable. They were miserable. And I just loved that for them. I really did. But they up there talking about it said, I think we all have our doubts whether the marriage will last 10, 20, or 30 years. Well, he gave himself a big spread, didn't he? So if Harry and Meghan is married 10 years, he win. If they married 20 years, well, he still won. He still called it. And if they married 30 years, he still called it. And if they married more than 30 years, he's out of here anyway, so he can't claim it anyway. He really, really took care of the spread in between, didn't he? That is the most ridiculous thing. But it says, but only time will tell. In terms of their business and charitable activities, they seem to be going in separate ways. No, they're not going in separate ways. They're just behaving like all all other couples here in America behave. Couples here in America do not have jobs together. It's very rare that a couple have jobs together. In the morning, a couple gets up, they have breakfast with their family, and the husband goes one way and the wife goes the other way, and then they come back in the evening together. That's what Harry and Meghan are doing. Harry has his own interests, and he has interests that he created prior to even knowing Meghan. These are not new things that he created to stay away from Meghan. No, these are things that he had prior to Meghan. Okay, he had this prior to Meghan. So, but they want to try to pretend like, you know, this is something odd, and this is some kind of indication that the marriage is not working. And Meghan had her separate life before Harry. So what is the problem? And she's trying to create a business here. These people are crazy. It said the Duke went on a hiking trip with pals to celebrate his big day, leaving his wife and their children at home. That is a lie. How did he? I hadn't heard anything, and I am in these internet streets all the time. All the time I'm in these internet streets. And I hadn't heard about a camping trip away from Meghan. I heard about him going to Lesotho, him doing his surfing after he came back from Africa. When did this hiking trip happen? Did I miss something, y'all? Did I miss something, readers? I don't know. If I did, let me know in the comments, but I don't think I did. I'm just saying. It said, however, the Sussex confidants addressed the rumors, insisting it is normal for couples to not do everything together. You think, you know where they got that from? They got that straight off of X, formerly known as Twitter, from the Squatties. And he want to pretend like talking about the Susse's confidants. We all know who the Sussex confidants he talking about. He talking about our tweets because it is perfectly normal. What are you talking about? But yes, that is what they had in the Sun, talking about how Harry and Meghan are going a separate way, how they're breaking up, and that flimsy evidence that they're talking about is what they're using to justify this nonsense article about. It is most ridiculous, I must say. All right, let me put this up. This is a post one of the squatties posted, and I'm telling you, when I read it, I cackled. I threw my head back and I just cackled because it is about William's Earthflop and the celebrities that are there, and most of them don't even realize or have any idea what Earthflop is about. This is strictly a paying gig for these people because this squatty posted this. It says, not Heidi Klum. And you know, she is one of the biggest celebrities over there. And that should tell you how big the celebrities are over there. If Heidi Klum is the biggest one they have, I'm just saying. It says, not Heidi Klum says she had never heard of Earthflop and doesn't know what they do. She still can't explain what they do. They just flew her to DA, all expenses paid for vibes. She does nothing related to their goal. And William don't want her to do anything related to the goal. That's not why she's there. She's there to draw the eyeballs. She is there to give him some busy work, to make him feel good, to feed his ego, to make him feel like he is this so-called global statesman that he is calling himself, and nobody else is calling him that. But yes, this is what this is about. And I think I saw another quote by Billy Porter. Billy Porter was, I saw him in a clip, and he was doing more straightening people's gowns and making sure they were standing right than he was doing anything. I think he was one of the MCs, one of the hosts of this whole thing. And I have yet to see one of the winners of Earthflop. I don't even know if they were there or not, but I'm sure we'll get more pictures and more information coming out of Earthflop. I am recording this a little early, so I hadn't saw anything pop up on X, formerly known as Twitter, as of yet. But I will bring you what I see and find tomorrow on that podcast. But so far, I hadn't saw anything. But when I saw that Heidi Klum was over there, dressed to the nines, showing herself to be at Heidi Klum, to be Heidi Klum. Because what does Heidi Klum know? I have never known her to know too much about anything. And she is a very self-focused person. She kind of gives me the same vibe as Kim Kardashian. I'm just saying. But I just find it so funny that she's over there and have no clue about what Earthflop is about, what it does, or anything. I guess maybe somebody maybe asked her a question and she was unable to really respond. You know, she didn't know what Earthflop was about. All she knows, she got a all paid trip, all inclusive trip, and she probably got a really good payday because we all know that Earthflop spends most of its money on the show, and very little on the business. The people who win these prizes get very little money. They're supposed to get $1 million, but it's my understanding they get the million, but they get it in pieces, bits and pieces. They don't just get the full price. I mean, the full prize. They just get it in little pieces. Like, like when you were little and your mom used to give you a cookie and your friends be there and you had to break everybody off a piece. That is the way William is doing the prize winners. He'll break them off a little piece because he has to spend the bulk of the budget on this show. And we all saw their books this year. They took in $1.6 million and they spent 1.5 million on administration, on you know things like this. That's what they spend it on. They spend it on the show. I'm just saying. So I find this hilarious. I do. Also, I want to bring y'all this article here. And I found this article in this, it's called the International News. And this is them rewriting history. This is them trying to distract from the thieving ways of William and Charles and try to focus it on Meghan as usual. Trying to use Harry and Meghan as a scapegoat. Because y'all remember yesterday, the Daily Mail was writing about how much the people who cleans Harry and Meghan's pond, I guess they have a koi pond, and these people charge, I think it was like $231 an hour, and they up there counting Harry and Meghan's money that they go out and work and obtain on their own and has nothing to do with the taxpayers, but have no smoke, have nothing to say, on full mute mode when it comes to Charles and William absolutely grifting their way through every segment of the public's purse. But yet and still they worried about how much Harry and Meghan is spending of their own money, their own hard-earned money, to pay somebody to clean their pond. I kid you not. It is just ridiculous. And so I want to get to this particular article and then we're going to discuss it because it is another distraction. This particular article, like I said, it came from International, the news, and the name of the article is Meghan sends scathing message to Kate Middleton through Prince Harry. It says Meghan Markle is determined to cut off any form of connection taking place between Prince Harry and the royal family. Connection, it says the Duchess of Sussex, who is currently focused on rebuilding her brand and working on her business, is absolutely furious with Kate Middleton for reaching out to Harry without her. Insider reveals. We all know this is made up. This is planet junk. They planted this, they fed this out, and it is just a made up lie in order to have something out there on Harry and Meghan to try to distract, try to get people to move along, to try to get somebody, so the public to hate Harry or Meghan, mostly Meghan, and forget about them with their hands in the UK people's pockets. They want to really get past that. And we all know Camilla was supposed to be out later on this week, and yet until she feigns that she has a chest infection. And I'm telling you, but I heard that she said that she was going to be out next week. I look forward to that, but I think it's going to be like a closed door thing. I think it's going to be a while before these people get out among the people because they know the people are angry, angry, angry. But let's go on. It says the Duchess of Sussex. Wait a minute, I read that part. It said Meghan is desperately trying to dissuade Harry from taking any olive branches. What olive branches would that be? I wonder. I don't know where this olive tree is, but if I could find it, I'm telling you, I would chop that sucker down. I'm just saying because I am tired of all the olive branches being offered and they take it that it's really a stick and try to beat Harry and Meghan with. I'm just saying. It says the source told Closer magazine she insisted that his family will use them against him and try to pit the two against each other. Insider added that Meghan is furious and has had very firmly let it be known though Harry that she wants Kate to stop messaging him. Well, we have it was a story that they planted not long ago that Kate was not trying she was giving up on trying to be the what was a peacemaker. You know, they wanted to frame Kate into being a so-called peacemaker. And so now she went from not from being the peacemaker to now Megan is trying to stop her from communicating with Harry. And it also was stories out there that Kate said that she had never talked to Harry. And we all know the number one person that William and Kate, especially William, takes their salty tears to is Tom Sykes. And Tom Sykes clearly said in one of his articles that they did not even respond to Harry and Meghan's communication to them when Harry and Meghan found out Kate had her performative cancer and they was trying to wish her well. And they sent a correspondence to William and in this article, Tom Sykes said that William said that they never responded back. But yet and still, they continue to plant stories that somehow Meghan is trying to get them to stop communicating with Harry. They're not communicating with Harry. They just want some way to paint Meghan as a villain, some way to distract from their bad press and their negative behavior and the shenanigans they've been up to. They want somehow to put it off on Meghan. Y'all remember when this first happened? I can't tell you how many squatties was on X, formerly known as Twitter, making posts about, I wonder how they're going to twist this in what kind of way they're going to do it for it to come out to be the blame of Harry and Meghan. And this is it. They're not saying them stealing and being thieving as they are is because of Harry and Meghan, but they're saying that they want to continue to feed Harry and Meghan to the wolves and try to get the British public to focus on their hatred for Harry and Meghan and not their anger towards them for pretty much fleecing them for every dollar they can get. They're sitting in cold, damp houses, and we all know that the slum lords of Charles and William, you know, they don't want people to focus on the fact that they're slumlords. And he's over there, and I'm telling you, he's over there talking about the environment now, and these houses are adding to, you know, the whole, you know, it's so environmentally safe for these people with all this black mold, but he's over there preaching about the environment. It is laughable to say the least. And I can't wait to see exactly what he said. I did see an article that was written in People talking about he had talked about Kate, talking about how brave she was, and just trying to talk about her in the same way, in the same terms that Harry talks about Meghan. He is trying to do everything like Harry. He even has a beaded bracelet on his arm that says Papa. And we all know that that is some things that Harry does. But he even put his wrist up there so people can see it. And I am going to put it up so y'all can see it too. But yes, this is what he is doing. I'm telling you, they have a vision board over there at Kensington Palace, and they copy everything that Harry and Meghan does. And William copies everything that Harry does. You should see his shoes. I saw this little clip of him arriving. And of course, you know how Harry arrived in South Africa? He walked up this little path. William is walking up a path just like Harry walked up. And he has on the same kind of shoes, those trainer type shoes, the kind that Harry was wearing. I think he was at Invictus or when he went on his trip somewhere, Harry. Y'all know those shoes Harry be wearing. He got on them same shoes. I kid you not. It is so creepy to me. These two people are creepy to me. I'm just sorry to say. William and Kate are creepy to me. Because how in the world do you live your life just copying someone else on the constant? It's, it's creepy to me. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but I think it's creepy. It is so creepy. And I want to put this particular tweet up. And it is, I had it up yesterday and I got to put it back up. And it is Prince William and Kitty, Lord and Lady of Slum. The Slum Lords. I'm telling you, who would have thunk it? That's all I'm saying. And of course, y'all know I got to put up the clown. Send in the clowns. Yes, Charles. Charles is such a clown. He is. Whew, Lord, and such a failure at everything, including life. What can I say? If Charles wasn't come out of the right birth canal, he would have been a clown. I'm just saying. Also, we got to put his clown son up here, William. William is over in South Africa, pretending to be a global statesman, saying it about himself. Now, what? That is such a clown move. Whew. And of course, we're going to put up this, and that is, if you mess with Harry and Meghan, the Sussex Squad will eat your face off. We will. We will. All right, y'all. I am so grateful to y'all being patient with me because I did not want to show my face. I hope y'all enjoyed this podcast. I enjoyed talking with y'all. It made me feel better. It did. It did. Y'all always make me feel better. And I hope to see y'all soon. Bye.